So lifestyle factors. Health is a person's mental or physical conditions. So a balanced, healthy, active lifestyle can be affected in many different ways, which may include your work, family, or other commitments. So this is what I will be talking through this PowerPoint. So physical activity. Children from age 5 to 18 are meant to have 60 minutes or more of exercise daily. This exercise should be moderate exercise to vigorous activity. Moderate would be playground activities or maybe walking, and vigorous would be running or a team sport, so like football. For at least 3 days of this weekly exercise, it should involve different types of exercise to increase your muscle strength, as well as helping with strong bones to do exercises like running and maybe even different jumping activities. Adults aged 19 to 64 should do at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise, which would include cycling or a brisk walk every week, as well as doing strength exercises for 2 or more days a week. There are certain different benefits to physical activity, which includes physical, social, mental and personal factors. So some physical benefits would include improving your strength, having higher energy levels. So social benefits would be improving your communication skills and lifestyle skills. Mental benefits would include release of endorphins and lower anxiety levels, and to increase your body confidence. Finally, personal benefits would include reaching targets that you have set yourself and helping you with your time management. There are benefits, however, physical exercise can bring negative factors. For example, if you're inactive or if you over-exercise. Being inactive would mean that you don't participate in much physical activity. This can result in obesity, which can lead to later heart problems and even diabetes. If you over-exercise, however, it can mean that you aren't consuming enough calories that you are burning off, and this can lead to different forms of anorexia. Also, if you are over-exercising, you might not be giving your body enough time to recover and return muscles to resting length, which could lead to several different injuries and tears in your muscles. So diet. When relating to your diet, there are certain guidelines that you should follow. You should include macronutrients and micronutrients into your diet. Macronutrients are your carbohydrates, protein and fat, and your micronutrients are your vitamins and minerals. Also, water is a very important factor to a balanced diet because on average you sweat out at least 2 litres of water a day. So there are many different reasons that someone may choose to have a lot of water in their diet to keep them hydrated. So talking about sugar levels, there are many different ways that sugar can be high levels in your diet. Some of these may be because you haven't been brought up with the best food choices by your parents, or the organic and healthier foods are too expensive for you to use as alternatives to sugary and high saturated fat products. You might have a particular palate, therefore it could limit your choices, or you could be allergic to some of the healthier options that you may choose. If you have too much sugar in your system, then it can result in different situations, for example diabetes or high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or maybe even amputations. These all may occur to some people that may think they are fit because they aren't obese. However, because of the high level of sugar in your system, it can affect your organs and build fat around your vital organs that you may not be able to see from the outside. So the government recommendations are that all individuals should consume a diet that contains plenty of starchy foods, so rice, bread, pasta and potatoes, but you should be choosing whole grain varieties when it is possible. You should consume plenty of fruit and vegetables, at least 5 portions of a variety of fruit and vegetables a day, some protein-rich foods such as meat, fish, eggs, beans and non-dairy sources of protein, such as nuts and pulses, some milk and dairy, choosing reduced fat versions or eating smaller amounts of full fat versions or eating them less often, just a little saturated fat, salt and sugar. These government recommendations said 5 portions of fruit. It is actually changed to 7 portions of fruit and vegetables daily. So moving on to smoking, £13 billion is spent on cigarettes a year, and the 20% of adults smoke in the UK. In 2015, there was a ban on smoking in cars if you have under 18s present. Also, in 2005 and 2006, there were bans on smoking in public areas or in the workplace. Also, 70% of smokers want to quit but don't know how to, or don't have the motivation to. So some effects of smoking is that you can be seen unattractive to certain people and you can smell of tobacco daily. Smoking can also lead to you pushing people close to you away. For example, if a loved one wants you to quit, they might struggle and get stressed out for your health if you won't listen to their concerns. Also, if you are ill and the treatment can be too hard and you decide not to take the treatment, however continue to smoke, it can cause them to question whether or not you want to stay with them and be a part of their lives for as long as you can. So the risk of smoking. When smoking, there are a lot of risks that will occur. For example, the decrease in elasticity of respiratory structures, narrowing of the airways, mucus pooling, tar in lungs, and chances of asthma. Smoking is one of the biggest causes of death and illness in the UK. Every year, around 100,000 people in the UK die from smoking, with many more living with disabilities and smoking-related illnesses. Smoking increases your risk of developing more than 50 serious health conditions. Some may be fatal and others can cause irreversible long-term damage to your health. So smoking causes 90% of lung cancers that exist. It also causes cancer in many other parts of the body, which includes mouth, lips, kidney, liver, stomach, and many more. Smoking damages your heart and your blood circulation, increasing your risk of developing conditions like coronary heart disease. Smoking can also damage your lungs, leading to conditions such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which incorporates bronchitis and emphysema. So alcohol. So the recommendation and guidelines for alcohol is men and women should only have 14 units a week, and you shouldn't save up all the units for 1 to 2 days, but you should spread them out over 3 days or more. So some effects of alcohol, some short-term effects would be vomiting, slurred speech, blackouts. Some long-term effects could be alcohol poisoning, liver disease, cancer of the mouth and throat. If you drink excessively, it can cause different forms of liver disease like cirrhosis. And excessive drinking can cause hypertension. So hypertension is related to your blood pressure, where it increases when you either drink too much alcohol or you can be stressed. So hypertension is when you haven't exercised but you have high blood pressure all the time. This can be caused by alcohol in your system. So moving on to stress, there are 2 different types of stress which are called eustress and distress. Eustress is a good stress. It gives the feeling of enjoyment, and athletes that, for example, like climbing, would climb a cliff as a challenge and would enjoy the stress that it involves. Distress is a bad stress, which includes a form of worry and nervousness, which is usually brought on by not being able to meet a demand. So causes of stress, there are 2 different types of situations that cause stress. These are external and internal factors. External factors include the different environments you find yourself in, day-to-day hassle, major events, and so on. And internal factors are things like lack of sleep, being self-critical of yourself, worrying on nerves and being ill, and there are many more. Symptoms of stress, there are 2 types of symptoms: sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is what your body does when you are stressed. For example, increase your breathing rate, increase your heart rate, and give you a dry mouth. And parasympathetic is what your body does to try and balance out them symptoms. So, for example, decreasing your breathing rate, decreasing your heart rate, and increasing your saliva production. So when you are stressed, you can also get hypertension, so which is related to your blood pressure, and this is related to stress because when you are stressed, your blood pressure increases, and if you are stressed for a long period of time, you can become hypertensious because your blood pressure will be high all the time because of your high stress levels. Also, if you have too much stress, it can cause angina, which is when you get pain in your chest.